This car market crash is just starting. People are finally starting to say no to these greedy dealerships and manufacturers who took full advantage over the last few years with market adjustments and raising the MSRP to the moon. Jeep rose the MSRP over 50%. Apparently, they're a luxury brand now, selling 100,000 plus SUVs. Completely insane. Over $100,000 for a Jeep. Most people never thought that would happen. But you go to your local Chevy, you go to your local Ford dealership, they're all going to have over $100,000 vehicles. It's just a reality of the situation now, and it's pretty crazy, but that's the world we live in. It's 2025. They took full advantage with raising it to the moon, and now finally people are saying no, and they want these cars. There's plenty of people who will buy cars for whatever price, to be honest. There's plenty of Toyota fanboys. They're all over the place, but people can't get the credit anymore. That's the big thing. Everybody's a payment buyer pretty much nowadays, and the bank says yes or no in a lot of cases, and even some good credit people, they're just like, we can't do it. You have too much debt here. You got student loans. You got your house. There's too much going on. We can't do it. And that's the craziest part. Bad credit, forget about it without down payments now. Before, just a few years ago in 22, 21, people were getting approved with no money down, no proof of income, no proof of residence. They didn't care. Banks were handing the money out like candy. And now you have repos skyrocketed, of course, because people are not making their payments. So now banks have to say, okay, we got to be careful on who we give this money out to. On top of all that going on, the prices are to the moon. So even if you bought the car properly, you're making your payments, even if you put a good down payment, there's a lot of people who paid market adjustments. A lot of people. So all that money, they're upside down in those cars because they paid way too much money for a 21, 22, 23, and even till today in 2025, there are still stupid, greedy dealerships that are still asking for market adjustments on vehicles. It's like, I thought that was over. Now you have so much inventory. Why are you asking for over MSRP? It doesn't make sense. But if you think about it, the dealership's drinking the Kool-Aid. They can't get off of it. They were like, we've been like this for years. We're not going back to making less money. Are you crazy? So those are the greedy dealerships that are going to have to learn a hard lesson, and they are, because they have 2023s on their lot, stuck like Chuck, is what I like to say, with $20,000 discounts now. So they had a market adjustment back then, and now they have a markdown because it's been there for 2 to 3 years sitting. If you go to your local Ford dealership, all you're going to see is 24s, and you might even see a few 2023s brand new on the lot in 2025. It's crazy. It doesn't even make sense. There was a GMC dealership that was stuck with 22s in 2025. So, I mean, it doesn't make sense. And a lot of times when the dealership was adding the extra packages and stuff, that's when they really get stuck because they're $30,000 extra packages. And dealerships got so greedy because over the last few years, people were coming in, buying it nonstop, and that's just changing. Lending's getting harder, money's harder to get, and it also is high interest rates still. Interest rates, I went to a CarMax, they're showing very good. It's 8.95%. Now, you can definitely beat that probably at your local credit union if you have good credit, but still, 8.95% is there very good? That's not good. That's 9% interest. That's pretty crazy, but it's still pretty high up there. It's not like it was when it was 2 and 3%. Those times are over pretty much unless you're getting an incentivized rate, especially on a used vehicle. So you have all this going on. Everything's getting more expensive, so people finally just can't do it anymore. And dealerships are getting stuck with old inventory. Manufacturers are having to increase their rebates. Finally, they're giving $10,000 off, $5,000 here, $10,000, $15,000, but is that enough? When the car got increased so much, a Grand Cherokee, $60,000, $70,000, if they give you $10,000 off, is that enough? A Ram 1500, we saw one for over $90,000. It's like, what? If they give you $20,000 off, which we've seen on a Ram 1500, is that enough? I don't think so. That's not enough money to really move these vehicles because the increase in price is so much. So that's the biggest thing. Discounts are back. You have the negotiating power because there's so much inventory. It's supply and demand. Back then there was no inventory, which I still will say you could have got a good discount, but not like now. Now you have the power because dealerships want to sell this crap and they can't. It's sitting there and rotting away. Let me know what you think though. Are you in the market for a new vehicle? Would you you buy one of these vehicles now, even if you get a discount? I think most people are saying no, and that's why people are keeping their vehicles for longer than ever. They really are. And they're like, I'll just replace everything before I buy one of these new ones. Because really, you can't justify the cost because it increased so much. And the sad part is it also increased the used cars. 10-year-old Ford Fiesta will be basically 15 grand. A Chevy Spark was 15 grand. A used Chevy Spark, $15,000. Those things brand new were 13 grand, so none of it makes sense. Everything's overpriced. From new to used, it's all overpriced. Most people are saying, I'm keeping my car for as long as I can, and let me say this, no more bailouts at all. These dealerships and manufacturers need to learn the lesson. No more bailouts from our tax dollars to go to corporations. That stuff needs to end. No more bailouts. Let me know what you think. Have a great day and stay blessed.